Good morning, YouTube. Flash Speaks back, man, for another one of these things. Early morning. We got the Dunkin' Iced Coffee rolling. Only reason that's happening is because the local Starbucks has been shut down for reconstruction right now, and I can't get how I want. So you already told y'all. You know what I mean? If you want the Dunkin' to taste anything close to some real coffee, you gotta get a shot of espresso. You gotta keep the sugar low. You know, just one or two of those the liquid sugars, and then throw some cream up in that thing, and you good. All right. So anyway, we got some WNBA news, and we also have some games to talk about. You know, 3 games tonight as well. Yeah, just to get the news out the way. Obviously, the big story right now is that last year's Rookie of the Year, first team, all pro, or all first team, all WNBA first team. Caitlin Clark has suffered what appears to be, an injury to, I think, the left quad. Or it could be right. I'm not sure, but one of her quads suffered a quad injury. Something that the quad is something she's been kind of dealing with. It appears even some of the preseason, though they're saying they're not related, which I find to be hard to believe. Typically, when you're dealing with a particular muscle group, that stuff is related. It could be also, from the rigorous training, weightlifting, weight training says she was doing. And then people have been different. There's been different commentary in the weight training. Obviously, some of the pictures that have been put out there were obviously photoshopped, but most of those were like arms, making and giving her all this big triceps and biceps and stuff like that. But what could be possible is she did a lot of weight training with her legs, so legs aren't as easy to see, and that's where probably most of the, muscle groups is, and most women anyway. That could have something to do with it, it could be quad raises that she's doing. It could be squatting and all of that related, and who knows? You know what I mean? And then she could have, I guess, took a hit to it that strained it in some way. I don't know. They also haven't described whether or not it's grade 1 or grade 2 either. So, but when they said it's a 2-week thing, that indicates that it must not be the severest type. There's been some subs, or at least people have come into my comment section who said 6 weeks or something like that. And I mean, listen, if they haven't said that, then I'm going to go with the 2 to 3 weeks, just to be, maybe 3 to be on the cautious side. You know what I mean? I don't know. But assuming that it's 2 weeks, if we take that kind of assumption, then it looks like she'll miss about the next 5 games. The good thing for the Fever, though, is it's a pretty soft part of the schedule, by all indications. I saw that they played the Sun once. I think they played the Dream and the Mystics. And one of those teams they played twice, and then there's the Chicago Sky in there. So all of those games on paper look really winnable for them, even without Caitlin Clark. So it'll probably be on Stephanie White to probably put together a strategy that fits those players that she has. Just change up a little bit, maybe slow the tempo down, lean on Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, obviously. You probably go with Sydney Colson as the point guard, obviously, since she's pretty much the backup. And rely heavily on defense. Go with a team that looks similar to her Connecticut Sun team, more so than what they do under Caitlin Clark. If she's a coach, anything worth her salt, she should be able to do that. And honestly, I don't see the Fever losing too much even without Caitlin Clark. They just have to change the way they play. You still have more than enough talent on the team, and even you would expect players like DeWanna Bonner to even be able to step up. Even players like her, who kind of may have suffered under trying to learn how to play with Caitlin Clark. I can see her stepping up. I can definitely see Sophie Cunningham taking on a bigger role. Lexi Hall, who has been great already, just continuing to do what she does. And I don't think the Fever have much to worry about, to be honest with you. I can see them maybe losing one out of the next five. I got them going 4-1 for sure. Maybe they'll lose that game to the Sky. That'd be the loss, maybe. Wishful thinking, right? So, prayers for Caitlin Clark for a speedy recovery. You never want to see a player go down like that. As much as I may not be a Fever fan or someone that roots for the Fever, what I would like to see is the Fever be whole. Okay, so that means what I wish to see is a Caitlin Clark that is 100% healthy, and a Leah Boston that's 100% healthy, a Kelsey Mitchell that's 100% healthy, a Sophie Cunningham is 100% healthy, along with Hall and all of them. I want them 100% healthy going into the first round of the playoffs, and of course getting their ass whooped. That's what I want to see, but I want it to be a healthy Fever, so that way all the Fever fans will just have their hopes and dreams way up here, only to get crushed quickly. That's what I prefer to see, above other things, So hopefully Caitlin will be back and everything will be fine. I'm actually surprised she is hurt. My theory was that the girl was made out of adamantium. Okay, because I've seen this girl go through college, never had a major injury throughout and through that time, Paige Beckers had 2 major injuries. You had injuries, had a major injury herself. Caitlin Clark through it all, no injuries. Last year she's falling and flopping all over the place, no injuries. So I'm like, damn, this girl's superpower might be similar to LeBron James. These two might be made out of adamantium, and they don't get hurt, but. Hey, this shows, she has a human body, okay? And that should be back. It's fine. It's a small thing. Nothing major. All right, anyway, so besides that now, or connected to that is what happens now? Do we expect a drop in ratings? Do all of a sudden people show there's no interest in the WNBA now? The so-called meal ticket is gone. And this is one of the messages I got. The first message that I got when I even heard about the Caitlin Clark injury was someone coming into the comment section saying, happy return to irrelevance or something like that. Now the return to irrelevance is the meal ticket has been gone. And is this really what's going to happen? Are we going to go back to low ratings and all of that? I heard teams all of a sudden now decide to move their games from these big stadiums when the Fever comes to small stadiums now because of this. Really? This is what we're doing? If so, why? Why? And it's sad and ridiculous. Listen, I get it. Caitlin Clark has captivated the nation, the audience, through her college career. Being such a Rocky Balboa story, the little engine that could team, and I love a little engine that could story. These underachieving players that are around her, and then this one charismatic player that just shoots threes from Timbuktu and from Moscow, and carries the team on her back all the way to the finals to lose to this team, to these bigger schools, and then does it again in the revenge tour. I get it. But many of you guys, haven't you not seen the Fever play last year? Haven't you not seen that there are other players in the league that are damn good? Did you not see the Fever play against the Seattle Storm last year where Jewel Lloyd just ripped off 33 the first time, another 36 or so the second time where she ripped off 19 straight points with one eye? Had you not seen Kelsey Plum light that behind out before when she was with the Las Vegas Aces? Did y'all not see the Fever play against Even Ariel Atkins, who lit things up. What about the times you played against Enrique, who went back and forth with y'all at the end? Like, have you not seen that there are other players? Like, even if you're only watching the Fever games, don't you sometimes watch the other players? Have you not seen that there are other players that are damn good as well? Do any of them captivate you at all, any of their stories or anything? And if no, why not? Like, really? Why haven't you seen enough of other players to at least interest you in watching the games? It's no way in the world you can think this one player, and it's just a game, has some game that is so, oh my God, over the top awesome compared to the rest that you can't even watch. I think that's ridiculous if that is the case. And you should really be honest. Why am I like this? Why am I doing this? Really, you should soul search, man. Have you not seen Sabrina Ionescu, her performances? Some of these players have outdone Caitlin Clark in one-on-one matchups, head-to-head. Why don't they interest you? I remember back in the 80s, man, as much as I loved Michael Jordan in the 80s and the 90s, there were other players too. There were Charles Barkleys, there were Clyde Drexlers, there's Dominique Wilkins, there's David Robinson, there's Hakeem Olajuwon, there's other players as well. No matter how much you love one player, there are other guys that are entertaining to watch. Much as you love LeBron James, there's also a Steph Curry, there's also a Kevin Durant, there's also, of course, Kobe Bryant and Kyrie Irving, and there are other players. I don't understand that. Why would you have this protest? What is that about? And do you feel like that helps the game ultimately? Do you think that even helps Caitlin Clark in the Fever ultimately? What's the deal? Don't be a fan, man. Be a helpful fan. Be a good fan. Don't be a jerk off, Ski. I don't understand it. Man. I know for me, I got a lot I want to watch. Well, first of all, I don't watch just for Caitlin anyway. I watch Caitlin so that I can explain to y'all, Caitlin Clark fans, why I'm right about her game. That I do watch her for that. But I don't see anything in particular about her game that's so captivating. That's just to me that I can't get from other players. Kelsey Plum is very interesting, man. And I'm happy to see, because I was looking at some Kelsey Plum highlights yesterday, and I was glad to see that Kelsey Plum does get a lot of fanfare. It's not to the degree of Caitlin Clark, but Kelsey Plum, her games, like her highlights get a lot of views. She gets over 100K, 80K and stuff like that just for highlights. And that's good to see, because she is a very electric, entertaining player to watch, without a doubt. For me, one of the most entertaining players to watch. She has a little bit of the when she's out there, she has a little bit of the Iverson type of appeal, a little bit of the Kyrie appeal, and so on. What I mean by that is, it's the little player just existed amongst the trees. That's always been a captivating sight, and she does have that to her game. And what she's also showing a lot of y'all, and I'm not going to get into who's better than Caitlin Clark stuff. Like, I know I did a whole video last year explaining to y'all that I believe Kelsey Plum was better than Caitlin Clark. I'm not going to get into that today, because Caitlin right now is down, and I don't do the kicking when a person is down stuff. But you're seeing a jump in Kelsey Plum's numbers, and the only point I'm trying to make here is that numbers oftentimes, because a lot of times when y'all were arguing, no man, Kelsey Plum's averaging 18 and this and that. Listen, numbers oftentimes are a product or byproduct of the offense and, of course, the usage rate that a player has. Right? Kelsey Plum last year, what was she averaging? I think she ended up averaging about 18, I think, if I remember offhand. That shot up so far beginning of this year to about 24, almost 25 points a game. And I'm not surprised at that at all because now she's in a situation where she's not the third option or the fourth option. You got Kelsey Plum right now as the primary ball handler and really, the main option to score. Or put it this way, though her job is to kind of feed Erica Hamby and to feed Rakia Jackson and to feed these other players, she has a green light, unlike anything she's ever had playing in Vegas where you have, Aja Wilson and Jackie and Chelsea and all of them. She has the ball and an absolute green light. So you're going to see her numbers. It looks like when she has the same type of freedom that a Caitlin Clark has. And you'll see, which of these two players has the better bag, controls a tempo better, can score better, has better efficiency. You'll get to see all of that now. You'll be able to really see that. You see, she up there averaging about 25, taking over games and so on. Now, don't get me wrong, the Fever will likely win more than the Sparks because the Sparks right now don't really have the roster. Well, we'll see before the end of the year whether or not they have the roster because I'm still interested in seeing, Rakia, Cameron Brink, and all of them together on the floor. But right now they're going through injuries and, a whole bunch of challenges. You see, but Kelsey Plum is one player. Like, Caitlin ain't there. I'll gladly watch the Sparks just to see Kelsey Plum, how entertaining she is. Another player that I'm definitely watching is Paige Beckers. Right now, she's just still getting her feet wet. A lot of her bread and butter scoring plays that are good shots and so on aren't necessarily falling. That's kind of what's happening with her right now. But listen, that girl got all the game in the world, man. Both ends of the floor. Got spots all over the place she could score from. Got 3-level scoring down. It's just some of the shots aren't falling. That's the difference. But once that she gets rolling and it's like completely comfortable in the offense and they got everything down, the chemistry of the teammates, look out, man. I got her having a similar type of, how Caitlin Clark at the end of last year after that Olympic break kind of found her stride. I got Paige having a similar stride at some point. Now she's not going to benefit from a big break like the Olympic break, like the rookies did last year. But I guess there is an all-star break. There's some sort of a break. But whatever the case, I definitely believe that she's going to reach a point where she's like going off. And I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching the development. I enjoy watching game by game as she gets a little bit more comfortable, learns a little bit more, gets more comfortable with her teammates. And I love to watch Enrique as well. It's another player. And y'all know I already loved watching DJ Carrington play. So that's where I'll get my fix even with that. Like Dallas. Of course, for me, the Chicago Sky, even though it's painful as hell watching them, I want to see the Ariel Atkins I saw last year. I want to see HVL, man. Like, that's the one that's getting on my nerves. I want to see Haley Van Lith, play. I just want to see her play, man. She's another little player that's entertaining to watch. Has a little entertaining aspect to her, when I watched her at TCU. Entertaining player. When I watched her at, was it St. Louis, I believe, or Louisville? Very entertaining player. I remember Louisville going at it with Iowa, man. She wasn't afraid of Iowa, Caitlin Clark. She was trying to get it on, Though Iowa was able to come away with the win, I was very much impressed with what Haley Van Lith had put forward, man. She got hard, man. Got some spunk. I like that, And right now, the Chicago Sky lineup is missing that a little bit. Now, I did like the fact that Kia Nurse pushed the hell out of Lexi Hole. I like little stuff like that. But they missing that little spunk, man. That little player that just, But these are things I'll be watching, man. Like, who else? Washington Mystics. How can anyone not be entertained by what the Mystics are doing? You got Sonia Citron. You got Kiki Iriafen going out there taking the Aces down to the wire. Aces had to pull a magic trick out the hat, to win. You needed like Jewel Lloyd to pull away and make a 3 to win the game and stuff like that, man. How can you not enjoy that or find entertainment with that? The Seattle Storm, for me, very entertaining team to watch, man. I love Skylar Diggins, one of my favorite players. The defense they play, if you like defense the way I do, that's a team you'll love to watch. I know most of y'all just into offense, but man, they play some damn defense over that joint, and they're a team that are scary. And tonight they play the Lynx. I'm very interested in seeing what happens in that game. Seattle Storm versus the Lynx tonight. That's going to be interesting, man. Talking about two powerhouses to me. Seattle Storm, after that initial loss where I think they got spanked by somebody. Yeah, they got spanked the first game. But after that, man, they've been one of the best looking teams in the league. And they take on the Lynx, who I think are still undefeated. So that's going to be a good measuring stick for both teams. Tonight we also got the Dallas Wings versus Connecticut Sun. So that's Paige Becker's getting to go back to the UConn area. I think it's the same arena she played in, UConn, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure she'll have a little bit of some fans there from UConn, man, to give her a little ovation, because she was helped bring that area, an NCAA championship, So that's probably like her second home after Minnesota, of course. So that's going to be cool to see. And it's a winnable game against the Connecticut Sun. This is what the Wings have needed some winnable games. I thought their last game against Atlanta was somewhat winnable. They weren't able to pull that out, as Atlanta is kind of getting on the road a little bit, figuring some things out. And Atlanta's got some talent, you know what I mean? So we'll see if Dallas, man, can get over that hump tonight. Finally get something in the W column, And other than that, I think you got the Valkyries in action versus New York Liberty. I mean, I expect that to just be a behind whooping by the New York Liberty. The Valkyries, an exciting little team, come out there and show a little, oomph, but New York Liberty should handle them unless they come out there sleeping. Because sometimes New York Liberty will come out sleeping, but I don't anticipate that. I think they handle business, man. So that's pretty much what I got on that this morning, man. Should be an interesting couple of weeks, And you guys, man, don't be powder sour pussies, man. You know what I mean? Go check out, man. Support the league. Go ahead and see what's up with some of these other games, man. Check these women out, man. There's plenty of players with all types of talent, all types of skills, watchability, all of that, man. Don't be hooked on one person like that, man. That stuff is very, very, very weird. Very weird. And I'll probably get with y'all later, man. Peace, and I'm out.